with Sheridan Stewart.
And we have a big hour lined up. First up, we're going to look at how the ancient martial arts can help with a very current dilemma. We are talking bullying, of course, and then that's some good news for the weekend. Do you have a child that is being bullied? It's a big topic this week, and particularly today. Perhaps your child was the one doing the bullying, and what to do about it. I, on National Day of Action Against Bullying and Violence, wanted to speak to someone who's actually doing something, like literally doing something. So I had a conversation with karate teacher Peter Zarb on the Sunshine Coast about how martial arts can potentially help with the problem of bullying, and perhaps have been doing so for many centuries. First up, of course, I had to clear something up because I knew a karate teacher once who went with what sounded kind of pretentious karate.
I suppose the actual pronunciation, if you looked at it kanji per kanji, is karate. But I mean, look, when you're in Australia,
people just look at you weird.
Roll
their eyes.
Although, mind you, look, my introduction to karate, I was born into it. My father was a sensei, and he's a senior student and a really good friend of quite a renowned international karate master called James Shumarak. So by the time I got into karate, my father was already a fifth degree black belt.
Wow.
And one of the senior members of James's organisation. James is, I can't remember how old I am, but he's literally known me my whole life. And I've trained with him pretty much all that time since I was old enough to run underneath their feet while they were training in a class.
How has that shaped you as a person? That's a whole life influenced by a certain discipline.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think that it's only given me really positive experiences. I mean, when I was young and watching the classes and training under all these really senior members, I found it quite inspiring. You know, they captured to me what being highly trained, unassuming, accommodating and friendly. You know, I described them all as thinking gentlemen warriors, not to mention the fact that I was really fond of Ninja Turtles too. So, you know, it was that era where, you know, everyone wanted to get into it. Karate Kid, Ninja Turtles.
Which Ninja Turtle did you aspire?
Raphael, obviously.
Raphael. Yeah, and it's a beautiful
attitude, you know.
Rolls off the tongue to the name, Raphael.
It does. Training with all those guys, you know, I mean, 30 years on, I'm still training with him. And like my father was then, I'm actually now a fifth degree black belt member of our international organisation, and I travel nationally and internationally to teach and learn, and teaching's always brought me great pleasure.
One of the aspects of martial arts that I'd always, as a layperson, felt was particularly good for children is the respect aspect. How does that play into helping children who are experiencing bullying or potential bullies themselves?
Well, I think that makes a really good point, actually, because when we talk about bullying, quite often we're just talking about the one who's being victimised. And in a sense, karate helps reduce bullying not only by arming those who are being bullied, but by helping guide those who are actually doing the bullying. If you have a look at the bullies themselves, you know, we're talking about someone who is either physically, intellectually or socially powerful. They might lack the capacity to express themselves appropriately or crave attention, or maybe there's an inconsistency of discipline at home, you know. And then you've got on the other side of that someone being bullied, and they're being perceived as, I guess, powerless and an easy target, you know, weak and maybe unpopular. It's probably better to explain how I would conduct the class, because we use a lot of paired group activities, and these sorts of things promote respect, social behaviour in a positive way, and trust. So by constantly getting these kids to interact with each other in scenario-based gaming and pressure tests allows them to grow a deeper connection with each other. I teach karate with an emphasis on self-development and self-defence, more so through cooperation than a sense of competition. What I like to do is begin and end every class with meditating. We do breathing exercises, which, you know, are designed to calm people down, increase respiratory function and awareness, and bring the students into the present and into the now so that they can become more focused during their training. When you actually start conducting what I would refer to as combat-orientated aerobic conditioning drills, these not only help kids obviously, you know, increase flexibility and get more cardiovascular and all that sort of stuff, strength and endurance, but more importantly, it helps to actually increase their mental toughness. And it's their mental toughness that's going to prevail in a bully situation more so than their ability to be able to throw a punch and a kick, which in the process of dealing with a bully would be thing that you'd want to be doing. The first thing we want to be doing is communicating. When we start a class, when we finish a class, when we pair off with a partner, we always have this sense of communication. We bow to each other. We acknowledge each other's there. We use eye contact. We work out who's doing the exercise first, and we're constantly rotating it. We're giving each other feedback all the time. One of my senseis in Japan, he used to say that doing things on your own is like reading a book. But when you do things in a pair, it's like having a conversation. So karate really does promote communication, probably more than people would realise.
So what are some of the changes you see in children, I guess after a before and after snapshot once they've engaged for a term or two of karate?
You know, they come in with their heads down and they don't want to look at you, and, 2 months later they're running around, punching and kicking and rolling and full of beans. One of my dear friends started training with me when she was 7 years old, and she's now this beautiful, young, intelligent woman. Karate helped shape her into the young woman that she is. She's confident, she's well-spoken, she's respectful. I think it's a real game changer, putting people into any martial art, really. Karate's my forte, so I kind of default to it. I've always felt that the fighting arts should be in all schools. It's not because we want to fight. That's not what our goal is. Our goal is to just challenge ourselves physically and mentally, and then build ourselves up. I live in a world where I hope one day that they bring it in, because they still do it in Japan, they still have it in China. Kids will come out and start with breathing exercises and interacting with other kids. I think we're a bit wrapped in cotton wool these days, a bit too much, and horse playing just like I used to do when I was a kid is gone.
Bit of horseplay there. And with great discipline, Peter Zarb there, a karate sensei. ABC Radio Queensland.